The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 7th day of November, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamel Hartman. He's Larry Marshall Jr., and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Barb, did you run a triathlon yesterday?
No, in my mind, I was going to be active, but I didn't actually get to participate yesterday. I've never done a triathlon, to believe it or not. Well, swimming's hard, folks. Swimming's hard.
You thought it. You did better than me already. You considered it in your mind. My thoughts will always be, I'm on the side. Well, when I say the side, watching on video, but that's as close as I'll get. But props to everybody who did it. And once again, Flora Duffy,
Rain girl.
Yep, she came through. And you know what? I'm thinking. I always put it on the ladies in the crew. I'm thinking that Maya, Sanchez, and Sherry should do a relay team next year or something. You know what they're gonna say? Well, why don't you guys do it? I'm trying to encourage the ladies. What you think about that, bro?
All I can say is, if we ever do the team, I'll do the running part. That's the best I can do.
That's obvious. and honestly, I'll do the cheerleading part. I'm got that one on the lock, bro. I've got that one on the lock. Anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Colina Outerbridge of the BDC on to discuss women's entrepreneurship today. I just want to say thank you to everyone who continues to support us as well. If you haven't already, make sure you sign up for the membership on our YouTube channel. Just hit the join button to become an official member of our channel right below the video on YouTube. Also, go on our website if you haven't already. Fill out our annual survey for a chance to win one of our holiday prizes. Folks, it'll take you less than 10 minutes. The easiest thing you can do. I mean, it's not like you're going to the what's that place called, to get a lottery ticket every 2 seconds thinking you're gonna be the next billionaire or something. I mean,
so like you and Sherry,
who does that, right? I mean, yeah, kind of. But see, Sherry's cheap though, because I asked her if it's just gonna play for us, and she's like, nope. At least when I bought a ticket, I thought about I thought about you guys. I didn't say I would share with you guys, but I thought about you guys. I did consider.
That's why you didn't win. See.
No, I thought about you. Some people just are like, oh, I'm out. No, I'm taking care of my people. I'm thinking about you. We got to get close. Right. Once we get close to winning, right? That's when we discuss the
percentages.
Yeah. There's no pool here. Flora is the champion of she's the champion of
the world.
We're gonna give her that. We are going to give her that. Morning to you, Francine Paris. Morning, Jamaica Smith and Sherry Wu. Oh, Asian or something. All right, we're gonna leave that one alone, folks. On the back of Flora Duffy, we have to have a conversation. As Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning, TDH family. As you enter the live stream, let's smash the like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, consider becoming a member of the TDH fam. You heard the brother. Make sure you become a member. I think it's important to have a conversation on the back of her latest victory, Flora Duffy's Dame Flora Duffy's latest victory. I think it's time for another conversation like today. And the question's very simple. How can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? I think this is an important question because, Maya sends these videos, and folks, believe it or not, I have to go back and watch every show. Yes, so I have to critique myself. And then when Maya sends videos, I have to watch the video and, I don't want to be Dan Rather, right? Like, speaking on things and not knowing what it is, or sharing stuff and then having to deal with the consequences. So when I looked at one of the videos, My Ascent, I just don't remember, when you think of the America's Cup, you think of the World Triathlon Series, a major event coming to Bermuda. But in this particular case, through a Bermudian who's the best in the world.
Yeah.
And inspiring young people to participate. When I was young, we had, was it the Gibbons Company Triathlon Series thing? Was that what it was
Yeah,
called?
it's going through various name changes. I think I want to say August actually sponsored it one year, and I think that's like in early June and whatnot. But same thing with if you talk about different races, International Race Weekend or stuff like that. But to perform in front of a world class field, the only time I can understand is when they do a relay event for the track and field events that come to Bermuda.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think even look back, because we did have a very huge event that the BTA helped put on back in April with the world's best athletes, pretty much, of track and field, and we had some local participants, but we're talking about Bermuda had the best in the world in this particular thing. This is I want Bermudians to understand how big this is. There are how many people in this world? How many countries? Bermuda, that tiny little island in the middle of the Atlantic that, according to some idiot on Bermuda Trivia's Instagram page, Bermudians aren't real because I've never met one in my life. Okay. But
somebody said that?
Someone legit said that. We're not real because he's never met one. But saying that's how unique or big this is. But how can we capitalize on it? How can we grow from this? I mean, to me, the opportunities that for young Bermudians, I'm thinking of it like that. I'm not even just thinking from a tourism perspective and business and big events. I'm thinking about what this could mean for young Bermudians who are getting to perform in these events with maybe scouts or coaches and trainers seeing them perform that are here with elite athletes. I mean, does it work like that? I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily. I'll let you finish your part for the question. Actually, the question.
Yeah.
And then I'll get it.
Yeah, and folks, feel free. I mean, no idea is crazy. How can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? There's a business aspect to it. I think with the America's Cup, whether we liked it or not, again, I was not a fan of the amount of money, public money that was put into it, but we can't deny that it had an impact for Bermuda. And on the back of that, we have the World Triathlon Series, right? How can we capitalize? What's the next big event that Bermuda could consider going forward? What are some of the things that we can look at and say, you know what, we can host an America's Cup, we can host a World Triathlon Series. What's next?
Yeah, I something you brought up earlier, when you brought up with the kids, and I think I'm going forward through that direction in the sense of when I was growing up, the standout athlete was Brian Wellman. In 1995, he was top two in the world in his event. He actually won. He was world champion indoors that year, and we didn't see him. I was a track and field fan. My family's track and field, so we got caught maybe one jump out of a summer that he would compete in. When the old ESPN coverage, how they used to do the Golden League, they used to call it back then. And if you was lucky, you caught him on his off season where he was doing a bit of training, but you couldn't make the connection. I think these kids are able to make a connection through this event, obviously with Flora Duffy, Olympic champ Duffy. And I think this spurs forward for getting athletes to the next level, not just in triathlon.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think triathlon will benefit the most, but for our kids to see greatness on our shores and make that connection, they're able to just go forward. And I don't know, as a former athlete coming up in Bermuda, sometimes you wonder, can I do it? Can I do this and this? But to actually see it, and it's beneficial in that way. I think that is where we are most beneficial. And going forward, we have these events like the PGA, and eventually I think we'll get someone to have a stand-up performance in the PGA. We had strong showings in the track and field meet, and also the sailing events that come across. But going forward, I don't know how much more events. I think our size may hinder us a bit for getting these events, but I think that is the most important aspect, that our children get to see greatness from a Bermudian and can connect with it.
It's interesting you say that. And again, you had to school me on how colleges worked. Like I had suggested bringing colleges down to running the weekend, was it marathon weekend in January, and you were like, well, it's not that easy because seasons and being allowed to run. But one of the things, I think that stands out to me is what you just said. Is like, just think about it. With Brian Wellman, we didn't have access like we do today. Social media didn't exist, right? We didn't have the internet was not as accessible for those kind of major events. Most of us, truthfully, read about Brian Wellman. We didn't see Brian Wellman, right?
Yeah.
And so times have definitely changed. And I could imagine if we got to witness a Brian Wellman like we do Dan Flora Duffy, how much things may be different in that respect, right? You're actually seeing someone, oh, I like this, that could possibly be me, and you're developing relationships. Right now, Dan Flora's developing relationships with people, right? When she's going, I mean, the smile on her face yesterday, and I know you've experienced it, Bermuda Day, the chills. I'm just like, wow, like she's feeling that vibe, she's feeling the energy. But we've had some young Bermudians playing for Duke and Louisville and NCAA soccer. We've got Naspeth Lilani at Florida State. Do you think bringing those schools to Bermuda and playing would drive interest or make young people believe as well, or does it have to be on the professional level?
I think to an extent, yes. I think I was actually thinking about this earlier. The other standout athletes I think in the 90s was Sean Goda. And with Sean Goda, we saw him, and he was a world-class athlete also. We saw him, but we saw him when he played with Bermuda. And with respect to his Bermuda teammates, most of them were not professional. So we never got to see him with his world-class team, if for the back of a better term. If we are able to get those guys with the schools, I think, and able to see them perform at that high level, that will be something. But I think the team sport aspect becomes a bit more difficult because of our size. When does it come? How does it coexist with different events in the world? Whereas individual sports, I think that's where we've seen the success. The golf has been able to come, the track and field, and also the triathlon. I think individual sports makes it a bit easier to do, and team sports is just, we don't, unless we're getting a exhibition NBA game here or something. Where do we?
I thought about that. What you're saying in terms of like even Nikki Wells today, like you literally only get to see them in Bermuda performing if it's a national squad game, so you don't get to see them in their element. I think that's the biggest difference with Dan Flores. You're getting to see her in her element on the world stage in her. And so I think the connection is a bit easier. Even with Sean Goda back in the day, folks, what you got to remember, we didn't have access to football like that to watch it. A lot of what we knew about Sean Goda was what was being reported in the news for us. We didn't have access. Think about it. The Premier League today, back then, I swear you only got like FA Cup games, a league game here and there. It was not what it is today to have access to all these games. So I think it's definitely a difference. Audience, what are your thoughts? How can we capitalize on how can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? Again, congratulations to the champion of the world, Dame Flora Duffy, also Olympic gold medalist, champion currently. How can we capitalize on it? And yes, from a tourism perspective.
Yeah, we have to go there. We tourism, the business part.
Yeah, I mean, Maya can correct us if we're wrong, but I think she said something last week. The economic impact from the World Series was it was in the millions. I just, it could have been 1 million to 100 million. I don't remember, so don't hold that against me. But and I do listen to her when she speaks. It's just my so many things go in my head. But that said, it's in the millions, right? The impact. And we all know Bermuda needs these events.
Yeah.
We need these events. Could they be better? Always room for improvement. But I tell you what, once you got it, we better perform, and we do perform. What are your thoughts, though? How can Bermuda capitalize on an event like this, having the best in the world? How can we capitalize on having the world champion?
I think Bermuda, one thing that we have to, it's not a given that it's always going to happen.
Mhm.
At some point, Flora's going to transition on away from triathlon, and I think the event will lose a bit. So I think the next 3 to 5 years are very critical for us to maximize this level of exposure that we have.
Mhm.
Obviously, we'll hope that she will be an ambassador post, when she goes into retirement and whatnot.
Mhm.
But we need to find a way to, I guess, maximize. I think we're at one level right now, and we want to see it go to another 3 or 4 levels, so where it just goes to an I keep saying another level, but that's the only thing I can come up
Yeah.
with right now, and it goes from there.
Yeah, no, indeed. Um, Folks, what are your thoughts? How can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? Michelle White says, if Bermuda can stay on the tri-circuit, whether Flora participates or not, we can build other invitations around it. We had the youth in pre-event. We can have college events, races before or after. And those were my thoughts as well, Michelle. But again, learning about the college seasons and how they work could present a problem of its own. But is it possible, Burp? So we have plenty of young people, Bermudians right now in the U.S. in particular, in different colleges on athletic scholarships. Is it
So
as easy as getting a World Triathlon Series in Bermuda?
the difficulty becomes with, does it impact their season? And with colleges, the reason why you get your scholarship is to perform well in conference
Mm-hmm.
and nationals or regionals. You know what I mean? And it depends on how serious your school is about the sport. That's where how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know exactly when the triathlon season is for the collegiate athletes. Triathlon isn't a big sport for the U.S. college scene. I think it's only a handful of institutions that kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if their season is right now, and they have to go, if it's a full sport, sorry, and it goes right now, then they have to be committed to what their season. So it's not exactly like, okay, we'll pull them from this race that's important for them to come to Bermuda. It doesn't necessarily work like that. It's just like right now you have college football and it's November, and it's right in the beginning to determine who the national titles are. Can they come to the national stadium for an exhibition game? It's not going to work like that. So it's all about timing. The big things with the schools and the football,
Mm-hmm.
the best time would be a spring game because that's not the season. So I think we can kind of target that and showcase our people. And I think the big ticket person would be a Leilani Nesbitt, who just won the ACC title with
Mm-hmm.
Florida State. You know, again, but she's a senior now, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
So the time's kind of pretty much passed on that.
Sean Smith, he says sports tourism may be Bermuda's niche in getting our name out there. I'm sure we can host 12 major events per year, from golf, fishing, sailing, etc. I don't disagree when it comes to sports tourism. How can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? Michelle White has some questions. She's asking, what follow-up occurs? Does Bermuda advertise in other countries where the triathlon occurs? I'm going to say I believe so. I would think so. I would hope so. Yeah. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, a
Again,
postmortem should happen after every major event. I'm pretty sure it does happen after every major event.
Mhm.
And they'll look to see where they can improve and, crunch the numbers and see how it can get better for the next year.
Yeah. Francine Paris says, when you look at how many countries were represented, I wonder if the local sales businesses are involved to bring profit to stores locally. Well, we'll probably talk about that sometime this week as well, because Saturday, there was a bit of, there was some local businesses not happy because Front Street was blocked off. There was not much access apparently into Hamilton, and no one was in the stores. So some businesses did say they lost out. And that's something that, again, in that post, conversation, they discuss, they work on, they try to fix it. But again, who's going to say that to the businesses losing a whole day and Saturday being the biggest shopping day? That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. And Maya corrected earlier. She said the Gulf, it was 11.9 million in Bermuda's recovering tourism industry. So that's huge. Let's bring Maya in and see if she has any thoughts on. I'm sure she's got an opinion. She's a sports girl. She's, you know, just the future hockey MVP. That's what we're gonna call her. Let's bring Maya Palacio in.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour Newsbreak brought to you by People's Pharmacy.
Hi, Maya. How are you?
Morning, Maya.
I'm good. Don't call me the field hockey person anymore.
What, you're retired?
Nah.
Well, what are your thoughts on the question? How can Bermuda capitalize on the World Triathlon Series? Do you think there's opportunities?
Of course, there's opportunities. I think, like you guys already mentioned, we do so well in sports. We really do, individually and most times group-wise too. But I would say more individually, as you know, other people, especially when it comes to triathlons. We see in Florida, we do amazing. But what they can do more of, I don't know. I saw a comment that said we can have 12 major events per year, from golf, fishing, sailing, etc. I do believe most of our sports would have to be those that are outdoors, because most of our indoor facilities aren't the best, if I'm being quite honest, especially if we're trying to hold like a high standard. Like if we were to do basketball, there's no way that we could do that, because again,
Right.
very low standard
Yeah.
plus inside. So
And
it really depends on the sport.
yeah, I know they've hosted a world squash event in Bermuda. But again, squash doesn't demand the numbers that, say, a basketball does.
Yeah, and I know the NCAA has a tournament in Bahamas. I think at the Atlantis for. It's not the ACC. It's a beginning of the basketball season usually.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still goes on, but they have the facilities. I'm not quite sure Bermuda has an indoor facility that can hold, you know.
So actually, when I was in school, my school actually came to Bermuda and participated in a holiday exhibition game with them, just a few schools. I think that's the way to go. Getting a school with Bermudians in it at the time, I think, was very difficult. And that's key, because I think with the triathlon, without Philadelphia, it will be a great event, but I don't think Bermudians will have the connection.
Indeed. I think having that connection matters. Maya, you were out at the triathlon. What you got in the news for us?
Well, if you don't know, being a media person while they're at a World Series event can be quite difficult sometimes. So you're not really allowed to take video footage of the elite athletes, what's going on. We can take photos, but for this today, I have a news break for you guys on the kids duathlon. So here's a video from them.
They're all very much quicker than me. Absolutely incredible for bringing us back. 10:50 this morning or 10 to the hour at 11.
Are you ready, guys? Let's go,
Gee,
Nice.
I missed out.
They were really moving it. I was quite impressed with the young people. When they're down, they came back already. I was like, they're already back. Like, I had to like run to the positions because they're all over the place. I could barely get the young females because they are really going. I was like, by the time they're crossing the finish line, I was not there. I was so upset I missed it. But, yeah.
That was awesome, man. It made me think of, Larry Marshall Jr. there when he, won the junior race Bermuda Day. That's the vibe it gave me right there.
That was on 30 years.
Yeah, he's old, folks, basically.
Okay, no, I'm geez, man, that's 20 years.
He's old, folks. Bottom line. What else?
Yeah, I messed off this morning.
Another video from the triathlon, as some people may have noticed, that Tyler Smith wasn't able to finish his race in the elite men's. And so he talked to me a little bit about why he couldn't and what happened. So here's a quick video from him explaining what happened.
something about how you feeling right now having to get out of the race?
Yeah, pretty disappointed, to be honest. I really wanted to get out on the streets of Hamilton and kind of put on a good show for the home crowd. And yeah, just didn't happen today. It was just a rough swim, and it's part of racing. It happens, especially in triathlon, and especially at this level. But just getting beat up, in the water is part of it. But today was almost at another level, and anyone that's been in the ocean when it's wavy and you take on water, or you lose your goggles or you get pushed down below, would kind of understand the feeling. It always feels like you're drowning. And I got to a point where I just had to stop to regain my breath and focus. And I thought my Achilles was going to be the limiting factor today. I never imagined I wouldn't be able to make it out of the swim. That's the first time that's ever happened in my career. So for it to happen in Bermuda is a real disappointment.
I felt his disappointment, man. I can't relate.
Yeah, I can relate. It's difficult sometimes when you hype yourself up. You want to have a great performance in front of the home crowd, and to be honest, sometimes the hardest things that it just doesn't go right on the day. And he'll bounce back.
Didn't it happen one year? People expected you to in Bermuda Day have marathon, and basically your shoes gave way or something. Was it you?
I made him. I wore brand new cotton socks, trying to look sharp for the crowd and stuff like that. And to be honest, I knew from like mile one, it just wasn't my day. And you find a way to go through it. Obviously, he's in a different element where he's talking about catching his breath, drawn, all of those different factors. So I can't imagine that. So to pull off, that's unfortunate. I know he wanted to have a great thing, especially to battle back from a few injuries, to then come back and be like, it's that. I feel for him, but hopefully that he'll bounce back. He's had some strong performances over the last few years, so he'll be all right.
Yeah, well, keep going, brother. We got your back. What else you got for us, Maya?
Well, next on the news, we see that over the weekend, Mackenzie Cole-Tuckett, who is a former youth premier in the Bermuda Youth Parliament and studies law at the University of Bristol, had over the weekend spoken in the House of Commons. And here's the video.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in November of 2021, Bermuda's speech from the throne read, and I quote, "There is multi-generational trauma and dysfunction that manifests itself as the social dysfunction we see in our island today. The root of these issues is a lack of opportunity," end quote. In response to numerous focus groups and meetings with relevant stakeholders, our government has implemented a national youth policy, which includes 8 policy goals linked directly to the 8 most prevalent issues facing Bermuda's young people. Amongst what I would consider the most significant, finding itself included in 2 out of 8 of the goals and is a causal factor of several others, is an exodus of our young people, whereby young people are relocating to other countries for better opportunities. Illustrating the historical nature of this issue, a 2010 census analytical brief showed a total of 521 Bermudians below the age of 34 leaving the island over the census period. Now, this is a significant number for a country with a population of less than 65,000 people. The primary reason given by 47% of immigrants was unemployment. Alarmingly, 418 of these immigrants over 16 years old were degree holders. This raises 2 substantive issues. 1, some Bermudians are struggling to feel at home post-university. And 2, Bermuda is suffering from a brain drain, a loss of qualified talent. As an island with an aging population, our reliance on our youth will only ever increase. And as mentioned in the throne speech, the consequential social harms of this lack of opportunity is a cycle of social dysfunction, presenting or revealing itself through acts of antisocial behaviors, for example. Now, this is another issue highlighted in our national youth policy, and another, albeit more subtle, reason why young persons have left or are leaving the island.
Man.
Wow.
Man. But let me say this before I give my opinion. I first heard her name when she actually interned for Media Maya. So Maya, I props for like kind of bringing her in front of people like myself, right? But wise beyond the years. I say this with the most respect. There are people like her that can actually bring good people back into politics and interest, as if, this matters and I want to be a part of the process. Because if I heard a sitting MP speak like that with such poise and mean it,
the passion.
That's it.
Mackenzie is definitely an incredible person. Like, she has done so much and deserves every single praise she gets as what she's accomplished for her age, and also the foundation that she has from her mom to her whole community. Like, she has really established herself in a part that, like, I'm very proud.
Wow,
Yeah.
indeed.
Very nice. I got chills. Like, that was phenomenal to see.
Absolutely, and thanks for highlighting. Thank you for including that and highlighting that, Maya. What else you got for us?
Well, I do want to recall something from that video. So you may have noticed that she mentioned about the National Youth Policy. That was actually put into place last year in November by Dr. Ernest Peets, the former Minister of Youth, Culture, and Sport. And they did say on their platform that they're supposed to have annual reports to say that they kept with accountability, because they want to be held accountable for this policy. Now, we know that Dr. Ernest Peets is no longer the minister, so it is up to now Minister Owen Darrell to take on this initiative. And we're supposed to have an annual report for this policy between now, when it was released last year in November, and February, when it was in the press release. So we're looking forward to seeing when that's going to actually be implemented and put out between those time frames.
Accountability. Accountability. Let's get this report out, guys.
Next up on the news for today, the travel authorization will soon be no more. You may have already heard about it, but the requirement for an approved TA has finally been taken away, and it will no longer be in effect as of the 13th of November.
I think I speak for the congregation when I say thank you and amen. What else you got for us, Mike?
Lastly on the list, just a little bit from the throne speech, if you didn't hear it, basically just a couple of things. $22 million is being directed to the conditions of Times Bay facility throughout the next year. Amendments to be made on many of the acts. One in particular is the Auxiliary Bicycle Act of 1954. They're going to change that up so that students can actually learn how to ride on the roads instead, because that's not currently accepted at Project Ride, even though it is something that Systemize, however, does do already on the island, but they're changing it so that Project Ride can actually be able to do that as well, to help decrease a bunch of road accidents on the island. And they also mentioned about Morgan's Point and the transport and tourism that needs to be fixed, and other amendments that need to be addressed as well. So that's basically what they had said. There's a lot more, and I'm going to put like a full story on Media Maya soon this week.
The book of promises for the upcoming term, folks. How's the weather looking today, Maya?
It's looking quite cloudy and rainy. I looked outside my window today, and it's going to be a lot of occasional wet spells as well, it says, and we have a high of 78 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, Bert, what you got days of the year for us?
I have. Well, we're going to go back to November 5th, which was Saturday, and it was World Tsunami Awareness Day. And in December 2015, the United Nations General Assembly designated November 5th as World Tsunami Awareness Day to promote a global culture of awareness of and preparedness against tsunamis. Hashtag Tsunami Day, hashtag Get to High Ground.
Was it in Asia?
By Boxing Day 2006, I believe.
That was the first time I really heard of a tsunami, so it was definitely bad. Read up on them. I mean, don't use, like Americans right now, using these terms that tomorrow is going to be a big red tsunami in the U.S. because of politics. That's where you would hear the term over here. So it's just crazy how the World Tsunami Awareness is linked so closely to their election. Maya, thank you so much for that. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, folks.
All right, Maya.
Women's entrepreneurs coming up with Colina Outerbridge. Do not go anywhere. If you've appreciated today's discussion so far, make sure you give us a thumbs up and give us a like and share this conversation, because it's about to get even more interesting as we discuss women entrepreneurs.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose Peoples, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it Peoples. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. Peoples, we're here for you. People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
I say no to single-use plastic because I grew up in the most beautiful place on earth, and I want the next generation to enjoy swimming at a pristine Clearwater beach like I did as a kid.
There are studies that are showing that plastics are having impacts on fertility rates.
If we're going to have decades before these chemicals are out of our system, I think we really need to prioritize it so that we can see a future.
Ocean health and human health are intimately interconnected, and if the ocean is healthy, we're healthy.
We've looked at over 250 fish in 12 different species, and 40% of them had plastic in their gut.
Well, in the past, single-use plastic was a convenience to us. It's not a convenience anymore. It's hurting our island, hurting our ocean, and we need to stop.
A little change makes a big difference. SMTSUP. Say no to single-use plastics.
If we understand what atheism is, it comes from the root of growth, and it comes from the root of wanting a better world. That we care about our fellow humans, and we don't want them to be subservient.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Larry Marshall Jr., myself, Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to sign up for membership. Just hit the join button beneath the video on YouTube to become an official member of our channel. Also, that was a conversation for the second episode of Jamel Hartman Unscripted with Philip Ray, and I'll share the link right in the comments on both YouTube and Facebook if you want to capture that. I think conversations like that are probably of most importance because it's about loving one another beyond our differences, and we are so different. Even in a small community like Bermuda, we are so different, and if we can probably be more understanding of each other, we don't have to necessarily think like the next person or live like the next person, but if we can respect like the next person and their differences, then we'll probably be better off as a people. So check that conversation out, really to gain more understanding, not necessarily to change anyone's mind. And without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got Colina Outerbridge from the BEDC. Let's give her a warm TDH welcome. I'm sorry, they're going crazy. They're going crazy. They got like that. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yes, I am. How are you?
I mean, you all, you come by and then you make us miss you and then you come back, but we're happy to have you back. Let's get right into it though. The Women's Entrepreneurship Retreat weekend is coming up. For those who may not know, what is the purpose of this retreat?
So this is actually our 5th full-day Women's Entrepreneurship Day conference. And the purpose of it is to inspire and empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. It is celebrated around the world in at least 160 countries, and we are excited to be a part of this amazing movement.
I heard you mention entrepreneur and entrepreneur. Just tell the audience the difference between an entrepreneur and entrepreneur.
I say that because a lot of times when people, we talk about this event and people say, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur, so I can't attend. And I want people to know, especially women, that this is for everyone, whether you're working for yourself or working for somebody else. So an entrepreneur is someone that's working for themselves, but an entrepreneur is somebody that's working for somebody else, another business. But I feel like everyone's an entrepreneur because of the fact that even though you're not working for yourself, you're still your own business, you're still your own brand. So you're carrying that in someone else's business.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for that. And you just spoke about women, but why is it so important to recognize and focus on women entrepreneurs?
Well, we find it important to focus on women because we have some amazing women in Bermuda, and we feel that we are still not recognized enough. Even though there are women in some top positions, we still feel undervalued and not on an even playing field with some of our counterparts.
Okay. So this retreat, so what can participants expect to experience from this retreat?
So this year we are doing a whole weekend retreat. Usually we just have the 1 day conference. In the past, we've had a brunch here or there, but this year, because it's our 5th anniversary, we're having a whole weekend. So we have 2 international speakers that are going to be coming down, as well as a host of Bermudian speakers. And so on the Friday night, everything's going to be off Cambridge beaches. So on the Friday, for those that are going to be staying for the whole weekend, they can come and pick up their welcome package. We'll also be having like a meet and greet, so kind of like a happy hour with some drinks, some food, some entertainment. We have a female DJ and just a great time to unwind on a Friday night. And then on the Saturday, we're going to have a 4 day conference. And so that's where our keynote speakers will be participating. We will open up with a mindfulness session. I'm very excited this year because we're going to be doing a vision board session. And that's, for these women out there that, it's almost the end of the year. It's something that they can use to carry forth in January and say, everybody wants to start their year off right. So they can use this vision board for their goals, that they want to achieve during the year. The topics that we talk about during the event are always going to be things such as finance, health, branding and marketing, as well as tech. And so we'll have some sessions on those. And then we partner with a couple of people. So we'll have a pitch competition during the event. We'll also have a Female Entrepreneur of the Year award, and that we partner with Socially of Room, and she's already put that out there so people can go on her site and nominate these amazing females, and that person will be recognized during the event. And then afterwards, full day food and drinks during the day as well. There's going to be a networking portion after that with some vendors. And so people can walk around, see the vendors that we have, visit their booths, and hopefully purchase some amazing items. And then to close out the weekend, on the Sunday, we will have yoga by the beach. So we're hoping that fingers crossed, is going to be some great weather, and we can do, a little yoga meditation session, something to start the day off, the morning. And then we'll have a brunch, and that will host a keynote speaker as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of doing the weekend. It kind of makes it an event. I think sometimes when it's a single day, it almost feels like a workshop that you're doing for work. So kudos for that. What type of businesses will be targeted? A lot. I'm got the thought of small business, the single person, the single entrepreneurship. But give us more detail on who you're targeting for this retreat.
So for our event, I would say it's very broad. It's for all women, no particular person. But we have seen in the past where it's a variety. I would say it's definitely a mix. It's women that may want to start their business, that may think about starting a business. Some women that have already started and they're at a crossroads. And sometimes just hearing from other business owners or other women in these key fields, just turns a light bulb on in these women, and so just helps them to get going through the rest. sometimes being an entrepreneur is a lonely road, and sometimes you don't always feel the assistance of your family or your partner. People just feel like I need someone else to connect with. And so we're hosting this event so that women can make these connections. They can, have accountability partners, and they can just network with other women that's going to help them to push their business even further.
Okay. I'm not sure. Is it an age requirement or was that involved? So school age females are able to come?
No age requirement. There is a course to attend, and hopefully that course is not a barrier for anyone, because we have some really amazing sponsors. So we try to keep the course as low as possible, especially with everything that you're getting. It's going to be an invaluable amount. So it's open to all ages, all anyone, all women can come and attend.
In reading up for this, I see that you spoke earlier about the speakers. We have some international and local speakers. First off, tell us who are these speakers and give us a bit more information about what they're going to speak on.
Okay, so the two international speakers that we have, one of them we are so excited about. She is named Serena Thomas, and she has such an amazing and powerful story. I first heard about her before I joined BEDC, I did their program. It used to be called Who Owns the Ice House, and now rebranded to Think Like an Entrepreneur. And just hearing her story about how she came from working at McDonald's making $400 to now a multimillionaire grown cleaning business. She has all these other businesses that she's added. Just really amazing. And if anybody attended the virtual awards, BDC Awards, I believe in 2020, she spoke, and just phenomenal. So really excited to engage her and for her to come down and just empower, women where she came from to where she is today. We also have Ingrid Polini, and she's worked with entrepreneurs. She lives in Canada, and so she's also going to be given some skill sets and some things to help women to think forward for their business. And like I said, in everyday life, it's not just for entrepreneurs. The skill set, the things that you're going to learn, is going to be able to help anybody in business, whether it's working for someone or working for themselves. And then the Bermudian speakers. So I always like to highlight our Bermudian speakers, because I feel like I said earlier, we have such a wonderful array of speakers, and I believe that they are not highlighted enough. And so we have Dr. Karika Weldon. She'll be talking about health, and we know how important health is. If you're not healthy for yourself, you're not going to be healthy for your business or anyone else. And then we have Jennifer Card, who's going to be talking about marketing, branding, leadership in that realm, and how do you, portray yourself as your own brand. We will also be talking to Shalicia Henry, and she's going to be talking about finances. How important is it in finances in your business, making sure that your business is making a profit? That's the reason that you're going into business, is to make a profit. And so we want to be able to help women to get that handle on, recording the information to make that happen. And then we have Gail Gorman, who's going to be talking about tech. We know the importance of having a website and, Web 3.0, NFTs, all these things that are popping out now. How can people use these platforms to leverage their business? And then we're going to be talking with Kim Rigo. She's going to open us up in a mindfulness session so that we're going to be grounded for the rest of the day to be able to focus and hear what's going on. We have Danielle Painter of Bacardi that's going to be doing a session with Beyond Plastic, and actually just listening to one of the commercials talking about how important that movement is going to be in single-use plastic and things like that. And so just reiterating that purpose. We also have Francia Campbell that's going to be hosting our vision board session. So some amazing women in the place, and just looking forward to hearing everything what they have to say.
Packed lineup.
Yeah. And it's good to see how you highlighted the locals. I think sometimes with events we get the pushing the international person and whatnot, which they should. I'm not saying, but I think you did a great job of highlighting the local speakers that are on board.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this. It's going to be a full day. We're going to have fun. It's not all about sessions and things going on. and just bringing that fun aspect, but also getting something out of it. And this year, usually how I have like a lot of panel discussions, and this year I wanted it to be very interactive. I wanted people to be able to take something away, not just sit there, listen to people and write down notes. I want them to have some key points and some handouts and things, so that when they go away from that weekend, it's action points that they can actually use in their everyday lives going forward.
If you have any questions or comments for Colina, send them through. We'll do our best to get through as many as possible. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah. So how can people learn more or register for the women's retreat?
So if they visit our website, www.bedc.bm, there is a link. The theme of the event is Inspire Her. So obviously a play on our words with the her. And if they click on that link, they'll have all the information about the event. There are different costs. So the Friday night is $49 for the event. The Saturday is going to be $149. And the brunch on the Sunday is $99. But if you get the combo pack, then you will realize the savings, and the total combo pack is $229. So if you click on the link on our website, all that information's on there. You can see everything that's coming up. We are glad to be having it at Cambridge, and so Cambridge Beaches is also having a local rate. And so
Nice.
I know the rate has gone up a bit. I think when I first checked, the nightly special was like $198. It may be at least up to $220, but I feel like it's a great weekend that you can spend. You can make it a girls' weekend, have a bunch of friends, family, just come up and just have a great time.
Indeed. And I think you just answered the cost question. Just reiterate the dates of
So the date is going to be the 18th to the 20th of November. And so, like I said, if you go onto our website, if you can't find it on the website, which I'm sure you will, or you want any more information, you can always send an email to me, c.outerbridge@bedc.bm. You can also email us at info@bedc.bm, and BDC number is 292-5570.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. I want to say I heard a rumor that one of our colleagues was being nominated for something. Sancha was nominated for a little prize.
Nail Bar is in the runnings. I believe we had at least 56 nominees for Female Entrepreneur of the Year. And so the deadline for that was 31st of October. And so now I think it's up to maybe the 4th or the 13th of November, where you can go and vote for those people. And whoever receives the most votes will win the Female Entrepreneur of the Year award. So we're encouraging people to check BDC's website, social media, check our social media rooms as well, and be able to vote for those female businesses.
All right, folks, you know what to do.
Excellent.
You know what to do. We have bias on this show. I'm not sure if any of our audience have businesses that are in the runnings as well, but TDH community, you know what to do. We're going to support our people. Nail bar it is.
Nail bar it is.
So much for this. Appreciate it. And definitely as an entrepreneur myself, I love entrepreneurship. I love everything about it. I love, I'm inspired by people in our audience, like Michelle White, who I know attends a lot of the BDC stuff. She keeps me going just through LinkedIn and so on. So I appreciate the way you all continue to support entrepreneurship. So that brings me to my final question. I'm known to show up in places I'm not invited. Not stalker me, but
don't wear a skirt, bro. Do not wear a skirt, please.
Men are not allowed?
Men are not allowed. Okay. But I will say this year we definitely have something for the men. Like I said, we've been doing this. I don't even know how long we've been doing this Women's Entrepreneurship Day event, because it started before me. It used to be a morning session. When I started in 2018, we started doing it as a full day conference and just growing it over the years. And so the men at BDC, why we don't have a men's event? So we're like, well, do one. So this year we have a men's event. So no, the women's event is women only. But BEDC does have something for you.
Okay. Will it be streamed real quick? Will it be a little bit of stream, a little technology, a recap or something?
There may be a recap after it happens. It definitely will be videotaped, and so we definitely use those footage, just to highlight some things in the future. But I would say definitely attend. Women are not going to want to miss it. We find at all of our events, like, women want something to do. They're looking forward to these networking sessions, being empowered, and sometimes you just need that pick me up. And as I said before, sometimes entrepreneurship is a lonely road, and why not go somewhere where you have like-minded women just like you? And so this event, like I said, is not just for entrepreneurs, it's for all women in general. So we're just looking forward to jamming out the place. There is a limited amount of tickets that we can sell because of, obviously losing some of the bigger hotels like South Beach. So we are limited in the numbers with the smaller hotels, but just looking forward to everyone coming out and just having a great weekend.
I'm sure it will be.
Yes, for sure. But I do want to say this is Global Entrepreneurship Week, which, BDC usually do stuff all month. And we've had some amazing events so far. You have mentioned Michelle White, and she attended our Inspire event last week. We had like 4 international speakers, and awesome event. We had one on Friday, which was the Festival of Entrepreneurs at Bacardi. And so just to highlight some of the upcoming events, on this Saturday, November 12th, we have the BDC Business Awards. And so that's recognizing businesses all over Bermuda, whether it's family-owned, businesses of the year, there's disruptive businesses, those are happening. We also have rocket pitch competition, and that's going to be November 15th. So that's next week, Tuesday. We have a youth entrepreneurship social. And so this is something that's very new. It's going to be held next week, I believe, Wednesday, the 16th. And that's going to be at the U.S. Consul. And so we're hoping that, we get these youth in the place, because we have to start it young, right? We have to start getting the entrepreneurship thought in their heads now. Why not?
When I was younger.
Exactly. And then that man event. So make sure you also, I want to see your faces. Well, I can't see your faces because I'm not going to be in attendance. But
That's right.
Yeah. Next Man Up, in Entrepreneurship. And so that's on November 17th. That's next week, Thursday. And then my event is on the weekend. And then we have a couple other events that's coming up as well. So make sure people go onto our website and see all the things that we have. You're not going to want to miss. The last 3 or 4 that we've had, even the partnership ones, were absolutely amazing. And so looking forward to the rest that are coming up.
Doing the work. Thank you so much. Honestly, again, entrepreneurs, especially those, I have 4 books arriving today, basically on consulting and becoming a better CEO. So I don't know, it doesn't seem like it. I just read and love everything about business. And it's not everyone goes into business because they don't want to work for others. Some people actually have dreams or things they're good at that they want to create their own space. And so whatever reason people become entrepreneurs, I'm just grateful that they have the support of people like yourself. Michelle White says, I encourage anyone interested in moving forward in business to try to attend any of these upcoming events. They are worth the money. So on that note, Colina, thank you so much. Thank you for the information. Folks, visit bedc.bm or .com. .bm for more information about all the work they're doing. Talk soon, Colina.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, Colina Outerbridge, folks, if you appreciated the conversation and information, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. If you're on YouTube, and I say it to you all the time, it costs you nothing to just hit that like button and that notification. Do it right now. Just hit the like button on YouTube and show them some love. See Outerbridge at bedc.bm. Hit her up, get involved, see how you can learn and become a better entrepreneur for yourself and your community. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to wrap it up after this. Do not go anywhere. It's Daily Play and your daily inspiration.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vote community, then you can't go anywhere, can you? I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up, trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robertson Richards and I am an entrepreneur. My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrell and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Patinhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Ion and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right. Thanks again to Colina Outerbridge and the BEDC. Again, if you appreciated today's conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations. Thanks again to One Communication, People's Pharmacy, Lindo's Medical Health for ensuring we're able to do this for you on a daily basis. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. You ready, Bert?
I am.
All right, this is easy, folks. Help him out. He won't need your help because they've just been so arrogant on this show as of late. Quote, you got to let me finish as well. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't hit what your eyes can't see.
What's the question? The person?
Famous quote. Who is it?
Muhammad Ali.
But then he tries to act like he's on the slow bus talking about, oh, I was the question.
He just started saying stuff and then the music went. Like normally is a who's the,
Yeah, it's a who said
help
it.
me out.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Who said it? Yeah. Well, at least I got to play my music, folks. You see? To play my music. Final thoughts on today's discussion on capitalizing on World Triathlon Series and then the conversation with Colina.
Mr. Triathlon, I think we just really need to take advantage, especially when Philadelphia is in her prime. With respect to the women's conference, very interesting. I like the time of year that it is, and women get out and have yourself a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to continue to capitalize on Philadelphia's dominance at this period and find ways to inspire more young Bermudians. Again, I'm not saying don't focus on the football and the crickets, but if you see a Bermudian in a space, the networks, connects, and the opportunity to have a world-class event in Bermuda, get in that space. The opportunities could be endless. As far as women's entrepreneurship, like I said, I love all thing entrepreneurship. Again, for me, it's really about being able to have ideas, to create like I'd like, to really just express myself in a manner that I believe is helpful for myself and my community. So I'm grateful for on any kind of entrepreneurship seminar or a conference or retreat that's being put on. I say to people, take advantage of them. Laverne Talker says, put up the link for the survey. Here you go. It is right here in the comments. Please go fill out the survey if you haven't already. We would definitely appreciate your feedback. This, again, shouldn't take you longer than 10 minutes if you're not like me. Any daily inspiration for the audience?
I do. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go. And that is from the actress Carol Burnett.
Yeah, we appreciate that one. You keep going. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindendo's, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Larry Marshall Jr. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great day. We're out.